Welcome back to a brand new Clash Royale video. My name is Chief Pat, and today we're going to be hopping into a couple of battles on my main account, and I'm going to be showing you guys a deck that I see a lot at the top, and I'm sure you guys see this deck at the top of the leaderboards as well. It's really popular on TV Royale, and for me, I think it's one of the safest decks inside of the game, so once you have all these cards unlocked, feel free to give it a try, and let's go ahead and test it out ourselves. Now, for me, I like to call this deck the 4 Ps because it has the PEKKA, the Princess, the Prince, as well as the Dark Prince. I'm going to count that as a P as well, and it works really well. And you can see he overcommitted to the right hand side, so instantly I double draft the Prince as well as the Dark Prince. If you guys didn't know, multi-touch is enabled for this game, so you can literally slide both of those troops out at the same time. That's what I did. I took out a bunch of damage on that tower, and seeing as I had my Princess, it was able to effectively counter the minion horde, and as he arrows that down, we have a huge advantage going into the rest of the game. Now the tower on the left is almost down. He's got a Princess on the right, and notice how I don't arrow the Princess. I know that he just wasted his arrows, so that's why I dropped my minion horde instead of anything else. Looks like my minions are able to get a little bit of damage on the tower, not too much, but again, I'm not going to waste my arrows right here because he played his minion horde earlier, and if I don't have that for the minion horde, it could be pretty troublesome, so I might as well just drop my PEKKA. That's going to distract the Princess. Notice how I didn't let the Princess lock onto the tower, and now we can get ready for another push down the right hand lane. So as soon as my PEKKA reaches the halfway mark, you can notice he drops his minion horde. That's exactly why I held onto my arrows. The arrows took that out in one fell swoop. He has to drop a cannon to counter, and he's putting a lot of elixir on this defense, and as soon as my PEKKA smacks that cannon, Dark Prince is going to continue charging for that tower, and even though he throws a huge fat giant skeleton in the front, that's going to go ahead and go down, giving us the first tower of the game, and we actually have a pretty commanding lead going into the last minute of battle. Now right here, I got a little bit cute. I waited for his spear goblins to get close to the bridge, and then I dropped my Prince. As you can see, he did have enough damage to assassinate my Prince before he was able to do anything, and as soon as it gets over the bridge, he's going to let his giant skeleton just continue walking forward. He plays the goblin barrel, and my minion horde is able to kill the giant skeleton, but it was just a second too late. It's going to explode and hit the tower, and that huge lead that we put together all of a sudden is down to 100 HP on the left hand tower, so he's going to start counter pushing to the right hand side. He does have arrows inside of his deck, so he knows that that tower is pretty much guaranteed to be gone. Of course, I didn't want him to take it for free, so that PEKKA should do a decent job. Taking a look at the cards in my hand, can go ahead and drop the arrows right on top of this minion horde as well as the spear goblins. Most of my troops over there are sort of low on HP though, and at this point I'm trying to keep up the pressure, waiting for him to drop his arrows on the left hand side, and as he drops that giant skeleton, this is a pretty good time for us to start getting ready to push right. But take a look at the very top. He throws his arrows at the ground. I hit him instantly with that well played. I know that he has no more direct damage besides that goblin barrel. I'm going to go ahead and freeze that, and somehow, some way, this one ended right then and there as he arrowed his own crown tower on accident, and I hit him with an oops towards the end, giving me the 1 crown to 0 victory. This one was actually on TV Royale, and it was pretty funny to watch. Yeah, it was a good one, really surprising. I felt like I still did have the advantage because he had to make such a hard push for that left-hand tower, but still, let's go ahead and hop into another battle using the same deck, and this time it looks like we're going to be playing someone with a little bit of a weird deck. Now, he has the zap as well as the lightning spell. You see a lot of those inside of Hog Rider strategies, as well as he has the cannon, the mirror, the ice wizard. I have no idea what this deck is, so he might just be experimenting with something new, but in the meantime, let's go ahead and play a princess in the back. Let's get ready to do a little bit of a PEKKA rush down the right hand side and to see how we can take him out. Okay, so PEKKA's gonna go down in a second. That should be able to soak up the damage from the ice wizard. Meanwhile, our princess doing work right there, but he plays a lightning spell, which is super costly, and that's gonna be pretty tough for him to work around. He only has 3 elixir left right now. Of course, he does have that elixir collector, but now we have our minion horde, and seeing as he doesn't have arrows, he only brought a zap. The minions are actually going to do a pretty good job rushing him down. He's going to drop 1 more zap, but unfortunately the zap isn't going to make too much of a dent into that PEKKA, and that will be it for the first tower of the game, and things are looking really good. In fact, we have a lot of elixir, so why not invest that in an elixir pump? My PEKKA was able to reach that ice wizard and swat him down, which was extremely good for us, and at this point we're sort of just hanging out. I feel like he's just trying to bank in for the long haul and try to get some crazy push going after he counterattacks me, but chances of that happening pretty weak against this deck, unless he can find some sort of mistake and capitalize on it, because you guys have to face it, every single player makes a mistake almost every single battle. I know for me, I probably make at least a couple of mistakes that I can realize in every battle, and it's just a matter of correcting those, and if you're an opponent, it's a matter of finding those and taking advantage of it. So let's go ahead and go in. Dark Prince is going to reach this cannon, arrows are going to go down in just a second, which should help out with the Spear Goblins as well as hit the Elixir Collector. PEKKA is going to take a couple of swipes at this tower, and that's exactly what we wanted. Now, of course, we do have to play defense right here. He's got the mini PEKKA and the Ice Wizard coming down the left-hand lane. Should be able to drop our minion horde, which is going to do just enough to take out that mini PEKKA, and as that Ice Wizard is distracted by minions, not really going to get too much more damage, and take a look as he drops another Elixir Collector on the very top. Even though there's 50 seconds left and he's down a tower, he won't get that actual value from the Elixir Collector. And take a look at this, he plays a mirrored Elixir Collector. There's 45 seconds left. A mirrored Elixir Collector only gives you 1 elixir in value if it isn't touched by any sort of damage whatsoever. So I was so confused at this guy's strategy. He was really just banking for the long haul. I'm going to start making a push down the left-hand lane. We've got the Prince, we've got the PEKKA, we've got the minion horde, sort of just spamming all of my troops at this point. I know this game is pretty much over. Of course, he's starting to get a good amount of elixir now, but as our free spell drops, the PEKKA is going to take out the tower, and that's pretty much going to wrap up the game. The elixir placements, I definitely don't recommend placing an Elixir Collector with less than a minute left, unless you're sure you're going to go to overtime, or else you could be in a lot of trouble. And this guy here, he played a mirrored Elixir Collector within the final minute of the game, so pretty head-scratching stuff. Maybe he was just trying something new, but in the end, 2 crowns to 0, and yeah, pretty simple battle, pretty simple result. Let's go ahead and get into one more battle, though, where we face off against a mortar player. I've been playing so many mortar players. I know a lot of you guys in the mid-2000s probably just play mortars all the time, and I'm really worried about those. Hopefully they nerf them sometime soon. But playing against this mortar guy, I'm going to show you guys how to exactly play against it. Now, of course, this deck is actually pretty decent against mortars, but I don't know he has the mortar just yet. But take a look and see what he does as he drops that mortar in the very center. So the mortar's going to go down, and it's going to target my Elixir Collector. Really annoying. This is, I guess, a good strategy to play if you're a mortar player. Not that it takes too much skill and strategy to play it, but anyways, mortar's going to take out my Elixir Collector. I think I only make 2 elixir on that collector, so in total, that's a -3 for me. Of course, it costs him 4 elixir for the mortar, so you have to keep that in mind as well. He's going to start stacking up on defense. I've got my PEKKA running down the lane. Princess is going to help out. Looks like my minion horde's going to go down as well, because I was hoping that the tower was locked onto the PEKKA. It actually was. I think 1 minion died because of it, but still making our way down the lane as the PEKKA does work. We've got the Dark Prince on the very left. It's going to get targeted to these goblins. I play my free spell, though, and that was my first big mistake. That free spell was worth absolutely nothing. I was hoping to cheese a couple of shots with my PEKKA, but that didn't work out, and you can see I would have had a 4 elixir advantage, but seeing as I wasted that free spell, now I'm actually down 1 because of his collector. Gonna go ahead and get ready to play another collector in just a moment, right in the center of our base, and unlike last time, I'm gonna play this scooted a little bit back. I know I see a lot of people who would just play, they'll play like their princess near their collector against a poison spell. The point is, if you guys see mistakes you're making during a battle, don't be afraid to fix them. And speaking of mistakes, he plays a mortar, I play my prince, not going to work out too well. Looks like his mini PEKKA is running down the lane. I don't have any elixir to counter that right now. I would try to save my princess, and as soon as I draw my Dark Prince, the princess is already dead. As my Dark Prince starts making its way to that mortar, it's going to get distracted by a cannon, and at this point, we're taking some serious damage to our base. Now, of course, at this point, I know that things will be okay. We both have elixir collectors down. We're both even on elixir, and let me show you guys what I do to counter the mortar. I actually didn't do it this time like an idiot, but normally you play a mortar about a couple of blocks up, and you get your PEKKA to distract the mortar, and in that case, the mortar's just going to keep shooting the PEKKA, really do no damage to it. Because I played it too far back, I'm actually going to have to play my free spell to help out, and we're going to start making our way to this mortar and try to take it out. Now again, we play a princess, the mortar retargets to the princess instead of our prince or our PEKKA. Another pretty unfortunate thing, but I know I can beat this deck. I just have to get my PEKKA down at the right time. And here it goes right now. The PEKKA's going down. He can't really play the mortar because the mortar would target the PEKKA, so instead he plays an elixir pump. PEKKA's going to swat down his mini PEKKA, and now we're getting ready to do a big push. Since our PEKKA is down, he can't play his mortar because it's just going to target that and die. And now we're going to start doing work into his base. He doesn't have arrows, so he's going to have to focus on his zap and his Ice Wizard to take care of our minions, but our freeze spell is going to go down just in time, and he's left with no options to shoot down air as the minion horde is going to ham on that tower, and it's going to give us that quick 1 crown to 0 victory. So I'll drop a little bit of a laugh in an oopsie mode. Really hate playing against mortars. I actually played that one extremely weird. I should have played my PEKKA farther forward when I realized he was playing the mortar, but I never made that adjustment. I tried to do it a little bit towards the end, but it didn't work out too well. But still, that's an example of winning against a mortar deck. And yeah, that is pretty much it for this video. So if you guys want to try this deck, let me know and how it fares for you with the comment in the comment section below, or you can always hit me up on Twitter at ChiefPat. But that's gonna do it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Until next time, I will see you guys later. Peace.